Okay, now the difference between the way these were made and these were made is actually pretty minimal, in that what you did was you came over to the next space. Even though it was a chain link space on the center, still you came back to the same space. You went forward to the next space, okay? On these you have 24 spaces and you're going to have 12 flowers. So every other one, you're going to start your flower, and every other one is going to be where two flowers link to. Okay? So I chain two. I'll go through the link in back of me. If you're right-handed, you'll be doing this one. And you've connected your petal. Now when you come around the other side, you'll be connecting this flower right here. So you're going to have one hole where two flowers are connected and one hole where you put the ring in, all the way around. That'll give you 12 flowers. So you just do your 3 doubles. And chain 2. Remember, these are all chain 2. Do your 3 doubles. And you chain 2. And third set. 1, 2. You start your third, pull it through 2, and you want to, here's the one you're in, here's the very next one, you go down in that one and pull your link through. And there you have your first of your edge flowers, and it's centered right over here, just like that. See? Now your next flower is going to connect right here. You're just going to go to the very next hole because you have to back up to this one to connect it. And then you go forward to this one to stop it. Okay? So give me a minute, I'll be back. So I made the next ring, chain 2, come right down in here next to this guy, one where I ended the last one, pull up my slip stitch, continue my bunches. Whoops. I'm going to try to continue my bunches. You can continue your bunches. I'm going to play with mine, looks like. Okay. How are you doing on yours? Are you trying it yet, or are you just looking through the video? Remember, 2 stitches in between, not 3 like we did in the middle. What colors are you using? One thing I like about Crochet Crowd is they'll have everybody send in a picture of what they're working on. We all do one project, say, and then everybody sends their picture in, and you get to see all the fantastic ways that people figure out how to do this. Different color combinations, numbers of colors used, all make such a difference. It's incredible. Okay, my third set, got 2 loops on my hook. This is the loop I'm working in. This is the very next loop. Go in there, pull through that, chop her off. You can see why you can't carry this thread through. Whole lot of threads. Big bunches. Too many, don't want to go there. Okay, now you go ahead and go around and make your flowers. And you should have one where your 2 ends are meeting, like this. One that you have your ring in. The very next one will be where your two ends are meeting. The very next one will have your ring in it. All the way around, you'll have 12 flowers. Your next flower on the other end will be right over the center of that petal. So you'll have one there, and one there, and one there, and there, and there. See? All the way around. It'll work out just right. And I'll come back when I've done mine. I want to have a lot of ends to put in, so I want to stop and put all my ends in before I go on to the next level. Probably be a good idea if you do it too, if you haven't done it already. Okay, so I'll see you when we come back. We'll be finished with this row, and we're going to do this one. Okay? See you then. All 12 petals are done. And got all my tags done in except one, so I can see at a glance which is my front, which is my back. Remember, all the rows we do are all done on the front. So, for left-handers, you're going to want to start in any one of these corners. For right-handers, you're going to want to start in any one of these corners. So you start in the corner of the hand that's doing the crocheting. Now the instructions say start with a single crochet. So I'm putting the loop on my hook, go through my corner, and come up and do my single crochet. That's how you connect with a single crochet instead of a slip stitch. Then you do 2 more in the same hole. Now everywhere around here you're going to be doing 3 singles in every hole, okay? Every one of these gets 3. Every stitch, double stitch in between gets a single crochet in it. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then the 3 single crochets in the hole. And then 1 in the first one, 1 in the second one. And now we're going to connect the last one on this side to the first one on this side. So we're going to go through here and pull up 1 loop. We're going to go through here and pull up 1 loop. We'll pull through all 3 loops. That's a single decrease done on both petals at the same time. Now we're going to do single crochet in that petal, a single crochet in this petal, and 3 singles here. Now, that's the easy way to do it. However, I don't like to use this stitch for this column. See that? This is actually supposed to be the stitch that goes with these. But because of the way it's connected over here, you don't really have a stitch to work with. So what I prefer to do is I'll go in this side, bring up this loop, and I'll go right down in the back of this little bar. See this little bar here? Go right down through there. And I connect it there. Then I have this stitch that goes with this bar, and this loop that goes with this bar, and that's much more the way it should be. It just means taking a little extra trouble to get down in back of this little barred loop here. And you have to remember to leave room. You're going to have to pull it apart so you can get into this stitch, because when you push it up, you're not going to see this stitch as well. This is the next stitch you want to go into. So let's go through that again. We do 3 singles in the corner, And this loop that leads onto this one, that's the one that goes with it. This loop goes to that one. This loop goes to that one. And these two loops are your chain 2. We're going to put 3 singles in there. See that? Now we have 1, 2, 3. So we go in the first one, second one, and the third one. All we want to do is pull a loop through. And we come down here in back of this little bar. We're going to sneak down in here and pull up a loop. And that'll be the connected single. We go through all 3 loops at a time. Now see how this was kind of almost hiding? We're going to go down into that. Do our single. Down into the next one. Do a single. So that gives us the connected one, which is 1, 2, 3 for these 3. And then you just continue on around. Just like that. Okay. That's what you want to do with all 12 petals and come back. I'll do it one more time to come over and connect to this petal. And then I'm going to leave you to do your part while I do mine. And we'll be back for the next row. So that's 1 single crochet in the end of each of your doubles. 3 single crochets in the chain 2 space. Then 1, 2, and you only go into the first and pull up a loop. You don't complete your single. And you come over here and go in back of this little bar. Like that. Bring your loop through all 3 loops, and that's your connected single. You come back in here. The bar is going to have cover it. See how it covers it? So your loop is hiding right there on this side of the bar. Pull up and do your single. And your single. And you're on your way around again. Okay? So I'll meet you back around. And we'll add our next color on the outside. You know we're almost done. Look what a beautiful complicated pattern you've made. And it's been simple every step of the way. It just looks complicated when you put it all together. Okay, see you. Well, it's getting bigger. We've got this row, these flowers, and that row to go. We're working on this one now. This takes 5 single crochets centered over each outside petal of our flowers. See here? We're going to be centering 5 over each of these petals, like that. And then we come down in here and we connect the 2 petals together with a connected double crochet. I modified mine, so I'll be showing you my way and the way it's done on the written pattern. Okay? Okay. Now I'm casting on with a single crochet. Left side is this side, right side is this side. Make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centered over your petal. So just put my hook through there, finish my single crochet, and do 4 more. And I have 5 across the top of my petal, just like that. Now we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to do our little connection bit. First I'm going to show you how it's done in the book, and then I'm going to do it my way. I want to, not the book, the written pattern. You do it just like you do any decrease of a double crochet. You wrap, come down 2 stitches, you go into that stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over, bring through 2 loops. Now that's the first half of your decrease of a double crochet. Then you wrap, you skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and you come into the 4th, pull a loop through, pull a loop through those 2 loops, and now you have 2 halves of a decreased double crochet and the loop on your hook. Wrap your yarn over, pull through all 3, and there you have your decreased double. Okay? That's how she does it. I have a different preference. I'm going to wrap, skip my 2, go in, pull up a loop, skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, go into the 4th, pull up a loop, and I go through 2 loops, and then I go through all 3. I kind of like this little bar, truncated bar thing better than the V. Personal preference. I showed you first how to do it on the written pattern. Okay? 1, 2 stitches. Your 3rd stitch should be the top of these centered 5. If it's not, then you can take this stitch out, find your stitch, go back 2, and then go into your 3rd stitch down. 2 ways to locate. In case you made a mistake somewhere along the way, that'll be a good way to smooth it out. Just go back and count down from your 5th stitch up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2. And remember, I'm doing this my way, not the way in the book. I'm doing a modified decrease. I wrap, go into my 3rd stitch down. There's my 5 stitches here. Wrap. I don't wrap. Sometimes I wrap. I go into the 3rd stitch down, go through 2 loops on my hook, go through 3 loops on my hook, and I end up with this little Christmas tree here. 1, 2, and I'm back to my 5 stitches on top of the petal. Now you can modify yours whatever way you want to. There's no reason why you couldn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a couple different ways you could do it. As long as you make it tall as a double crochet. What other way could you do? You could do it that way. Still comes out looking pretty much the same. You could make it thicker by wrapping and coming through, and then wrapping and coming through, and then go through 3 and 3, like that. Or you can wrap and go through 1 here, 1 here, go through all 3, and then do another one on top. That makes it even closer, and it makes it still makes it as tall as a double crochet. So as long as you're consistent, do it whatever way you like to do it. This is crochet, and crochet is very freeing, and you can do whatever the heck you want to do. As long as it comes out, if you're trying to follow a pattern, pretty close to the pattern, so you don't mess yourself up in counts. You always want to make sure you have your 5 on the top and your 2 in between whatever you do down here. You could put 1 in each one of these and gather it all together. As long as you have your 2 count up here, your 1 for your gathered stitch, your 2 count here, and your 5 here. Then you won't mess up, okay? So you go on around and come back here, and we're going to put those 2 outside flowers on. These right here. These are done the same as these, except they use triples and they have chain 3, just like we did on the middle ones where we did chain 3. We do chain 3 on these, and we do the triples. I think we do chain 3. I'm going to double check that. Hold on a second. Nope, chain 2 between. Good thing I checked my notes. Okay, so we'll be doing a chain 2 on each one of these. So I guess the only place you do a chain 3 is right here in the middle flowers. These are chain 2 and these are chain 2. Okay. See, these two here are the first two I made. Period, ever. This was my very first one. Then I did this one. So I'd have a little bit of experience to work on this, but I have remembered all the spaces. I still have to go back and check my notes once in a while. So going around, and we'll come back and do the flowers. Okay, we're going to do the corner flowers. We start them just like every other one with a chain 4. And now where to connect them? These really are going to be on the corners. You have 3 flowers on each end. You have 3 flowers on each side. So you have 4 corners. Just like that. Okay? So I'm going to take this bottom chain here, and with your 3 flowers, make sure your center one is centered lengthwise. Come over here, and we're going to stick this right through here. Whoop. And that's where we're going to form our chain at. So instead of going down through on the outside, we're going to go crosswise on the inside. Like that. Okay. On these others, we went down through an existing chain. This one we're going across it. So that is how it should look right there. And chain 1 and do your 6 single crochets inside. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Come through here. Come on through here. Okay. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the 6th one. And that's the one I want to go through. With a slip stitch. And there's my little circle. Now, these count as 2, so you got your chain spaces 2. So you want to go up 1, 2, 3 of your 5. That should bring you to the center of your 5 center stitches. We'll go right through there. Whoops. Shall we start the petal first? Don't you think that would be a good idea, girls? Okay. First, now these are going to be triples, which usually have a chain 4 to start. We are going to chain 1, 2, and 3, and our 4th chain will be completed in the middle of our 5th of our 5 chains here. 1, 2, 3. We want the 3rd from where we made our connection at. Come through and slip stitch. Now for triples, we got to wrap 2 times. We're going to come right back in that same stitch that we came up from. And we have 4 stitches on the hook. Wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2, wrap, pull through 2. So that's 3 sets of 2s, and that's what makes it a triple. Wrap 2 times, bring a loop up, and we go 1, 2, and 3. Now we chain 2, wrap, wrap, and we go into the next stitch. And we go through 2, 2, and 2, 3 times. Wrap, wrap, go in there and pull up a loop, and 2, 2, and 2. 3 times. Make our last triple. Chain 2. Wrap, wrap. Go into our third stitch. 2, 2, and 2. Another triple. 2, 2, and 2. Now this last one we wrap 3 times, go into the hole, we go through 2, we go through 2, and instead of wrapping and pulling through the last 2, we're going to count 5 stitches over. So this is our 2 stitches, okay, 3, 4, 5. If you count it from this way, it'll be 1, 2, 3. So we are right in the middle of our petal. And there's our corner flower. Let's pull that through. Whoops. There we go. See how simple that is? So, you make your ring. You start it just like all your others, only you're doing triples. And counting this chain as 2, you go 3, 4, 5, and connect. On the other side, counting the chain as 2, you go 3, 4, 5, and connect. Okay? You put your other 3 flowers on, and all we have left to do is the border.